today YouTube refused to show my video to you, because every time I published it, I could see in statistics that it was seen by less than 3% of people, almost exclusively by those who turned on notifications. YouTube support is non-existent. They only have a chat with the robot that told me that everything was fine. Hours later, YouTube seems to have accepted the final version, and you could finally see it. I also had even bigger issues with YouTube last year, when the whole revenue for September simply disappeared. And YouTube told me that they deducted it because my traffic was invalid and produced by bots. By the way, hundreds of creators have been facing this problem since 2020. They still did not fix it and did not return the money. From today, I will post my daily reports on Patreon. I will still continue posting them on YouTube, so don't worry, you will be able to continue watching them here on YouTube for free. But if you want to help me, consider supporting me on Patreon, because I cannot just rely on YouTube anymore. With your support on Patreon, I will have the necessary stability to work on reports every day. Thank you for your attention and for your invaluable help.
Welcome everybody, in here, out there, all the ships at sea. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Welcome to The Late Show. Yesterday, President Biden celebrated his 81st birthday. And he posted, sure, why not? He's the President of the United States. He posted a picture of himself with his cake and sweet balls of fire. Blow, Joe, blow for your life, get out of there! So, how did the Secret Service let that happen? One person who took the time to mark Biden's birthday was Donald Trump, who chose to celebrate by releasing a letter from his physician that said Trump is in excellent physical and mental health. Well, sure. We all know Donald Trump is the picture of health, specifically the before picture. While the doctor claimed Trump's body is humming right along, the letter contained no details to support his claims. Yes. Of course, because doctors rarely go into detail. I'm going to write you a prescription for... Wouldn't you like to know? Now, enjoy your mystery pills. They're yellow. Is it lemon? Doctor also praised Trump's recent weight loss, which he credited to improved diet and continued daily physical exercise. So, Ozempic. He's totally on Ozempic. And he's a machine. He's a machine. Elsewhere in Washington last week, Speaker Mike Johnson announced the release of 40,000 hours of January 6th footage. No thanks. If I want to see 40,000 hours of people attacking each other near the Capitol, I'll watch The Real Housewives of the Potomac. Speaker Johnson released the footage because far-right conspiracy theorists believes it will prove that there was nothing to see on January 6th. They've already put out a lot of... I agree. I think we all agree. And they've already put out a lot of misleading spin, with one noting cameras captured demonstrators peacefully marching through the halls of the Capitol while police officers stood by. Well, of course, if you don't count the violent rioting, there was a lot of lovely footage. It was like watching the Zapruder film and saying, wow, the weather was really nice. MAGA Republicans immediately used the footage to bolster their January 6th conspiracy theories. It started with Utah senator and mime being crushed by an invisible armoire. Mike Lee. Last week, Lee retweeted a theory about how this Capitol rioter was really an undercover federal agent because he's holding a badge, like you do when you're undercover. Listen up, I suspect we got a rat in our midst. It's either Jimmy Two Shoes over there or Officer Johnson, badge number 425. It's Jimmy. Kill him. Kill him. Stab him with your badge. Stab him with your badge. Badge stab. Here's the thing about that badge. Turns out it's not a badge. It's a vape. Cops don't generally flash e-cigs unless they're in my new vape-based buddy comedy sitcom, Blue Raz Lemonade and Storm Ice. You have the right to remain alive with flavor. Mike Lee's not the only Republican saying crazy stuff out there. He's joined by a Louisiana representative and guy who just found that plate of chili you left on his seat. Clay Higgins, during a hearing with FBI Director Christopher Wray last week, Higgins, out of the blue, asked this.
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term.
Oh, I have. When you're newly dead and you miss the train, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Thank you. One rehearsal. You're all in the union now. Higgins then explained what he thought a ghost bus was.
It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes. It's painted over. These two buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chairman.
These two buses
Mr.
are painted completely white. These buses are nefarious in nature and were filled with FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters.
It could be. No, it could be. Or, follow me down the rabbit hole here. They were just white buses. There's this thing called Occam's razor, which is what I use to cut my ears off when Clay Higgins speaks. Of course, not everyone's trying to put Trump back in power. We hear a lot of warnings from a large group of anti-Trump radicals. They're called people who have worked with him. The Washington Post recently interviewed 16 former Trump aides, and they all had one message. He shouldn't be president. That's a little bit of a red flag. Pay attention. That's eye-catching. It's like a Hinge profile that says, the funny thing about me is all my exes testified against me at the sentencing. It's honest. One of the loudest critics out there is Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, seen here just as the chamomile hits. Kelly recently posed a tough question. What's going on in the country that a single person thinks this guy would still be a good president when he's said the things he said and done the things he's done? Yes, it's impossible to understand. Some people think he's disgusting. Some people love him. He's like cilantro that wants to put immigrants in camps. Kelly, there you go. Okay, we got there. Kelly was joined by former White House counsel Ty Cobb, who said this of Trump: he has never cared about America, its citizens, its future, or anything but himself. And you can trust Ty Cobb's judgment, because if you look at him, you can tell he knows who's naughty and who's nice. That's what he actually looks like. He's getting out there. He's getting pretty far out there. Of course, it's almost Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. And the holidays come. We try to keep things light on the show, but we also do our best to reflect the national conversation. And in that spirit, we have to address some recent news that speaks to one concrete defining truth, regardless of your background, your political beliefs, or whatever God you pray to. Some bats seem to use their huge junk to have weird sex. Now, here's the thing. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Steve, huge junk, weird sex? What's all this science mumbo jumbo? This isn't an episode of Nova. So let me break it down for you guys. In a study that came out yesterday, researchers found that some bat species don't have penetrative sex. Oh my God! This changes something, probably. Instead of penetrative sex, these nocturnal hornballs engage in close contact kissing using their large penises like an arm during sex. So they use their penises to check their texts? How did researchers get the data that led to this incredible breakthrough? They received an unsolicited email from a Dutch retiree who had been recording bat sex in a church attic. Amsterdam, Grandpa. Wow. Hey. What's P-Pop doing now that he doesn't work anymore? Oh, he has his hobbies. Moving on. Oh, you know what that means. There's urgent breaking wildcat news. I'm getting word that a cougar was spotted in a public park in Oregon. Oh my God. A public park in Oregon? That can only mean one thing. Cougars can play hacky sack. Sorry. Sometimes you just like the joke. Sometimes you just like the joke, and I'm sorry. She was unprofessional, but I enjoy the joke. For more, we turn to KCW, Oregon's news leader.
New tonight, a warning in Tigard where there's been a cougar sighting at Cook Park. The city put out the alert tonight telling people to be aware of their surroundings and to keep their dogs on a leash.
Of course, when a cougar's at large, you should also keep your sons on a leash. Now, wait, that other noise means there's an update on our wildcat news, because apparently what everyone in Oregon thought was a cougar has turned out to be a house cat. These are very big. How'd they get that mixed up?
Granddaddy walked barefoot up and down this road. Now I am too. Learning how to live,
Now, maybe
walking this dirt
there's a little bit of
way,
clue.
walking
Do you
to
have this?
school.
This actual
Oh, number 7 road, won't you take me home?
Let's see it again.
Out there where my roots run deep, strong just like that old oak tree. Everybody's got their little slice of heaven, mine's in the Georgia pines. 7 miles east of a Wildcat Creek, if you blink it'll pass you by. Granddaddy walked barefoot up and down this road, now I am too. Learning how to live, walking this dirt where he was walking to school. Oh, number 7 road, won't you take me home? Out there where my roots run deep, strong just like that old oak tree. Everybody's got their little slice of heaven, mine's in the
What are the balls and chains on the back of Israeli tanks actually for? Well, to start, they're not the Israeli form of truck nuts. This all goes back to how Russian rocket-propelled grenades are fused. All right, let's go to my kitchen. I want to show you something. You know that clicking sound that you hear when you turn on your stove? Well, that's a piezoelectric generator. It's basically a hammer that's striking a crystal trying to produce a spark. Anti-tank versions of the RPG-7 have a piezoelectric fuse at the tip. So if you damage that fuse with something that's heavy but not so heavy that it causes the whole thing to detonate, then the warhead might fail to detonate or detonate poorly. And they're balls on chains because it allows the turret to freely move. Hey, one more thing. It's almost Christmas. Don't get a crappy present this year. Go to the Knife Hand...
What do you call a powerboat that can turn into a submarine and also act as a stealth gunship? Well, this is all of those things, and they call it the SEAL carrier. Oh, and I almost forgot, it can also be deployed from a C-5 Galaxy. Its role is to provide covert insertion and extraction of US Navy SEALs during combat missions. It's got 3 modes of operation: surface mode, semi-submerged mode, and submerged mode. In surface mode, it can travel at speeds over 30 knots with a range of 300 nautical miles, using a 350 horsepower diesel engine powering 2 water jets. And it offers some active defense just in case anyone dares to mess around. To reduce visibility, it can enter its semi-submerged mode, which uses a snorkel to provide air intake, and it can travel near 10 knots in this mode. But if you need true stealth, it can transition to submerged mode. In this mode, SEALs are provided breathing systems. Why not a pressurized cabin? Because it would take the carrier too long to provide proper pressure for a truly sealed cabin, and the utility of the carrier is to transition quickly between modes. What do you call a powerboat that can turn it?
Don't you see how this could be offensive to a real, authentic Mexican?
Hey, can I just say that I'm Mexican and this doesn't bother me at all? Because these tacos are great.
Okay, sir, I appreciate your feelings on the matter, but I don't need you to be a mouthpiece for an entire cuisine, okay? As long as a white man's doing the cooking, I won't be eating here.
Oh, I'm not the cook. Guillermo's the cook.
Guillermo? Okay, wow. Guillermo, let me guess. You've got some poor Mexican dude back there slaving away for $5 an hour so that you can call these tacos authentic. Excuse me, senor. You don't need to work here. You can open your own taco truck.
Guillermo doesn't speak English.
야, 고기도 필요해.
기다려.
말 그만하고 빨리 움직여. 알았어, 씨발.
I'm just surprised. You actually don't know what to be offended by right now, do you?
No,
This is like watching a computer glitch.
don't you see how this could be offensive to a real...
This has to be the best CNN clip of all time.
And they said, look, you can't have this opinion. It's too conservative. We're not going to allow it. I think that's a bad move. I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I believe in only two things completely, the First Amendment and boobs. And so once they made the decision that they were not going to allow a conservative, non-sports-related commentary, they couldn't do it either.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly as a woman anchoring the show. Did you say, what did you just say? You believe in the First Amendment and BWBS?
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history, the First Amendment and boobs. So those are the only two things I believe in absolutely in the country.
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. B-O-O-Z-E or B-O-O-B-S? Because as a woman, I'm
as in boobs. I believe completely in the First Amendment and in boobs. Those are the only two things I believe 100% in this country.
This has to be the best CNN clip of all time.
People always ask me why I wrap my wrist like this, like a hazmat person, and it's because when you double glove and the second glove comes off, the inner glove often rolls back and it's all wet, and I often ask myself, what is that wetness? Well, it's probably sweat, and sweat is probably caca-poo-poo, and so by wrapping myself, I seal all that inside. But now I am hermetically sealed from the outside world. I feel so clean and protected, and I'm completely invulnerable to cooties. People always ask me why I wrap.
Oh, right here. Oh, right in front of us. Oh, right here. Oh, right in front of us.
The mutant missile is no ordinary weapon. Born from decades of research and cutting-edge technology, it has an ace up its sleeve, an articulating nose that bends and twists to track its target with unwavering precision. With a heart-stopping roar, the missile leaves its launch rail, and the chase begins. The enemy aircraft twists and turns, attempting to evade the relentless pursuit. However, the mutant missile's morphs are shaped mid-flight, a feat that gives the projectile extraordinary agility. Onlookers at the 2023 Air and Space Forces Association's Warfare Symposium gasp in awe as the enemy aircraft makes one final desperate maneuver and the mutant missile strikes. A brilliant flash lights the sky, and air-to-air combat is forever changed.
This is how they played guitar in the 50s. In the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, this is how they played guitar in the 50s.
I was born in the rain on a Apache train underneath the Louisiana moon. Don't mind the strain of a hurricane, it comes around every June. The high black water, the devil's daughter, she's hard and she's cold and she's mean. But nobody taught her, it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans.
What are the balls and chains?
What do you call a
In the A4, on a 200-foot wide runway, we can land all 6 airplanes together. So the back row, the 3 guys in the back, land first. And then 2 and 3 land, and then I land. what's so crazy about this is they touch down and they'll go, back row down, boss, 2-3 down, boss. And at that point, I do two things that you never want to do in a jet fighter. I suck the power to idle, I dump the nose, I touch down and tap the brakes at 150 knots. All of those things are not really good things to do unless you practice, practice, practice. We had a shoot.
I am the mailman, I deliver mail. This is the perfect town. I am the plumber, plum, plum, plum. This is the perfect town. I'm a friendly neighbor, neighboring around. This is the perfect town. Nothing bad ever happens. Nothing bad ever happens. Nothing bad ever happens in our perfect town. I just came from Denver, I'm a sex offender, this is the perfect town.
You put a trap door in our house, just step onto it. It's gonna go out from under me.
Okay.
It's gonna go out from under me. No,
You ready?
no, 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 I'm
Okay.
not ready, I'm not ready.
Wrong question, you go through the trap. Which house was Harry Potter almost sorted into?
Slytherin.
Okay. In what Disney movie is the villain's name Clayton?
Tarzan.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
Woo!
Which band of brothers that was big in the early 2000s reunited in 2019?
The Jonas Brothers.
Name the social media platform that came out in 2003.
Instagram.
Nope, I'm very
No,
sorry.
No, 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 no. Oh no, it was fake.
Hey, come this way! Come this way! Come this way! This way! Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here! Get up! Get up! I got you! Come on! Come on! Come on! You're okay, bro! You're okay! You're okay! Over here! Over here! Right here! Just hold my hand! Just hold my hand! Hold my hand! Hold my hand! Don't man, I've been to state jail once. The last time I was locked up, man, they offered me 25 years, man. I had no choice but to get out and change my life. You feel me? Yeah.
The mutant missile is no ordinary weapon.
This is good. Watch this.
Said the Democratic Party is comprised of racist white liberals.
That is correct.
Am I a racist white liberal?
Well, let's go back. And let's say, I will say this, that many
What do you guys sell here? Wings?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What would it cost to give everything away for free for the rest of the day?
So what?
What would it cost to give the food away for free for the rest of the day?
O sea, si damos la comida gratis, ¿cuánto dinero sería para que diéramos comida gratis? El resto del día.
See, do you guys make pretty good sales throughout the day?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So on average, what would you say? Let's make a deal.
Why don't you offer some money and then we tell you how many orders we need?
Okay. What would like 2,000 pesos do? Or sorry, like 20,000.
20,000?
Yeah.
3,000 and we can give food all day.
Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna do count that.
Okay.
But anytime someone pulls it up, just be like, it's free.
Okay.
All right. All right, see ya.
Thank you.
I'd love to see you give birth to a child.
I'd love to see you pee your initials in the snow. We're just different, honey. And by the way, I've been up here for, what, 5 minutes now? Have you heard me once talk like this?
That's exactly how he sounds,
No.
people.
And by the way, I know where the batteries are. They're in her bedside table drawer. That's what.
This is a critical moment of Miko and staging on Starship's second launch. Watch in the top left as the main engines shut down and the top right as the engines come back on. So during staging, we cut down to 3 engines because you want to maintain some force on the booster to keep the fuel settled. We have the hot staging go off, but as the engines relight on the booster, note that they come up and then they start to go away again. I think the hot staging was successful, but the booster flip and burn was the problem. This is a complicated process. There's tons of propellant flowing through those pipes, and closing the valves and opening the valves puts a lot of stress on the plumbing. We see engines explode, so I think what probably happened is some pipe ruptured, there was burning in the base of the booster, and then eventually it just gave up completely.
Heavy booster has just experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. However, our ship is still underway with all 6.
This is a critical moment of...
When we were filming, my deal was, when I made my deal, I said, I've got to fly in the F-14. So I had to go through all the ejector seat training, and this is my first pilot that I flew with. His name was Bozo. So we're going out, and we're a couple feet off the deck in the desert, and we're just sweating. I'm sweating in the F-14 because we were doing heavy maneuvers. And when I came through, it's like I had my barf bag right here, my side of the thing. I was like, okay, so now I'm going to go get it done so I can do the next take. So I leaned down like this, and he, at that point, decided to pull up. And he pulled up so hard and for so long. I mean, I can't do it now. My head literally was touching the ground. The G-force had my spine. And the push to talk was right here. I was going like this. Going, it's like, I mean, he was going up forever. So finally he leveled off, and I had the bag in my head. I was like, I said, Bozo, didn't you see? You get a check. You didn't tell me you were going to do that. My head was like, what? He says, yeah, they don't call me Bozo for nothing. When we were filming.
In order to get to Denver, we need to know which...
Take a look at the lock on your front door next time you walk in. See this little rectangle? This one has a secret. Let me tell you about it. Take a look at these 2 keys. Notice the yellow key is different from the blue key on the cuts. So the yellow key works in the lock. Notice it won't turn right now. Here's the blue one. Works just great. It all comes down to this magic tool and this little hole. First, we're going to put our working key in and turn it 90 degrees. Then, get this smart key tool. This is from Quickset. Push it in. Now you can pull your key out. Now, when we put the new key in, turn it the other way, pull it out. Now this yellow key works. See that? And the blue key doesn't work anymore. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
How old are you in this photo?
They're 3 years old. I was 14.
Date of birth?
1st of May, 1929.
Correct. Thank you, Inga. Get a new photo. You look like a ghost in this one.
Wait. What is this? You Jew. Tell me, who did this?
I did. It's an expose on Jews. How they think, behave. Look, it'll be a gift to the few.
Guys, you have to see this. Oh, look at this one. He has a tail. There's one of them hanging upside down like a bat. This one here, it is a drawing of their heads. And who is operating the machinery of their brains? The devil. Oh, it's funny because it's true.
How old are you in this photo?
These are not dead soldiers being pulled into metal coffins. During World War II, General John O'Daniel came up with an ingenious idea to transport troops into heavily defended positions. He suggested the use of battle sleds. As you can see, the soldiers holding on for dear life as the tank breaks through a wall. This allowed troops to...
Have you ever noticed that many European fighter jets, such as the Eurofighter Typhoon, the Dassault Rafale, and the Saab Gripen, have delta wings? But why do Europeans seem to favor delta wings over other wing designs, while the US, Russia, and China mostly use swept wings? So why do Europeans like delta wings despite their drawbacks? One reason is that European fighter jets are typically designed for different missions than their US and Russian counterparts. European fighter jets are often tasked with air defense and intercept missions, which require them to be able to scramble quickly and climb to high altitudes. Delta wings are ideal for these missions as they provide good performance at both low and high speeds. Another reason is that European fighter jets are often developed with a focus on affordability and ease of maintenance. Delta wings are relatively simple to manufacture and maintain, which makes them attractive to European air forces with limited budgets. Have you ever noticed that many European fighter jets, such as the Eurofighter Typhoon, the Dassault Rafale, and the Saab Gripen, have delta wings? But why do Europeans seem to favor delta wings over other wing designs, while the US, Russia, and China mostly use swept wings? So why do Europeans like delta wings despite their drawbacks? One reason is that European fighter jets are typically designed for different missions than their US and Russian counterparts. European fighter jets are often tasked with air defense and intercept missions, which require them to be able to scramble quickly and climb